Princess of Wales is set for her eagerly anticipated royal return following an announcement this morning that she'll be appearing at the Trooping of the Colour in June. The news comes after Kate Middleton was snapped by paparazzi driving with her mother in Windsor following weeks of online rumours and conspiracy theories about her whereabouts and well-being. Joining us now is TalkTV's royal editor, Sarah Hewson. Sarah, very good evening. Welcome to the world of the independent Republican Mike Graham. It's fascinating, this, isn't it? Because it turns out that the MOD, of all people, which is supposed to be the kind of, the protector of our realm and the people that we turn to when things need to be carefully handled, have let something slip that they shouldn't have let slip.
Yeah, evening to you, Mike. Good to see you. Yes, so there was a big flurry of excitement earlier when it was announced by the Ministry of Defence that the Princess of Wales was going to be inspecting the Trooping the Colour parade on June the 8th. They announced 3 parades, one to be inspected by the Princess of Wales, and the last one, the 15th of June, the big King's birthday parade, to be inspected by the King himself. It appears they got a little bit ahead of themselves. It was meant to be there so that people could buy tickets and let them know what the diary events are, but those events haven't been confirmed by Kensington Palace or Buckingham Palace. And Kensington Palace pretty quick to say, look, it's only us that confirms the diary of the Princess of Wales, and we haven't done that yet. Right. We're expecting to see her long before June the 8th, though, Mike. You know, we're still told that she's going to be off until after Easter. It's not clear whether that means Easter weekend or whether she's going to remain off the rest of the Easter holidays and then back to work when the children go back to school. We haven't had an update on that, but you know, that's way before June the 8th. And I think we would hope and expect to see her back to work before then.
Well, that's it, because Easter's early this year, isn't it? It's at the end of March, so it could well be that, you know, in the first week of April, suddenly she makes some kind of appearance. But you would imagine, after the seriousness of whatever it is that's happened to her, they would want to make that decision closer to the time. They wouldn't necessarily want to make any bookings that far in advance, would they?
I think that's precisely the point, because they don't want to then have to deal with the kind of headlines if they do pull out at the last minute. Just look what happened last week when Prince William was a last-minute no-show at his godfather's memorial service, and that then led to so many questions. Well, what's happening? Is Kate unwell again? Is it the King, for example? There have been more than enough conspiracy theories already about the Princess of Wales and her health, and so I think they are taking the less said, the better approach, and only confirming engagements when they really know that they can go on.
Right. But of course, now we have this other sort of slight difficulty with this TMZ picture which has appeared. I'm just looking at it now. I know we're not supposed to be publishing it in this country. We've made an agreement not to do that, but it is available for people to see over in America and on various different websites and online or whatever. You know, I'm wondering whether some people have said this is a good thing for her because it means that people have now seen her. So all these people who were kind of getting worked up into all sorts of a stramash saying, oh, what's happened to her? Why haven't we seen her? Well, now you have seen her, very possibly.
Yeah, that was my first reaction when I saw it yesterday, Mike, was this photograph, which, as you say, was published on a US website, hasn't been published in the UK. UK broadcasters and UK newspapers are not showing it out of respect for the Princess of Wales. We've been asked to respect her privacy during her period of recuperation, and actually a lot has changed since the death of Princess Diana. An agreement was made that paparazzi photographs, and that's what this is, of members of the royal family during their private time wouldn't be used. I'm not sure that's always been the case, but if a really good public interest case can't be made, then they're to be avoided. And this was taken by a paparazzi photographer yesterday in Windsor, Kate being driven by her mum just after 9 o'clock in the morning. So we can assume that they may have been out on the school run. We can talk about it, but we're not showing it for that reason. Look, my first reaction was that this might silence some of those conspiracy theories, which have been wild. I mean, some of them darkly humorous, but some of them pretty sinister, actually, suggesting that the Princess of Wales had gone missing. I thought this was going to silence them. And then you go back down a rabbit hole and you see the conspiracy theories are still there, and they've got renewed energy today, suggesting perhaps this photograph might have been staged. And that it wasn't even taken yesterday, all kinds of
Yeah.
things. I mean, these kind of theories used to take place on the fringes of society, didn't they, Mike? But social media has allowed them to gain momentum and end up spilling into the mainstream. And that's very, very difficult for Kensington Palace to
Yeah.
respond to. And they're certainly trying to avoid that at this stage.
Well, that's the trouble, isn't it? Because it's so tribal, particularly on Twitter, where you've got the sort of supporters of the Meghan Markle side of the family and the supporters of Prince and Princess of Wales, and they're constantly going at each other. It's quite unedifying, really. It's pretty awful.
Yeah, it's really awful, and you really can go down a rabbit hole. And once you've seen one thing or clicked on one post, then it keeps feeding you that same kind of content. Such is the algorithm, and it is pretty distressing. And you mentioned Meghan and Harry, and they've been on the receiving end of these kind of conspiracy theories for so many years. And again, they are wild conspiracy theories suggesting that, Meghan never actually was pregnant, for example. There are so many bizarre and damaging theories that are put out there on social media, but do seem to get traction. And that is what is so difficult about social media, is being able to navigate that and actually just try and ignore it. That's what the royals are trying to do now, is just say, look, this is the madness of social media. We're not going to change our policy. Our statement remains the same. The Princess of Wales is at home recovering. That's what she's going to be doing until at least Easter.
Yes, and they did try saying that, but obviously people weren't willing to put up with it or buy it.